Something big is happening at Ferrari, and it's got the entire paddock talking. Just days before the Monaco Grand Prix, a series of leaked upgrades to the SF-25 has stunned the F1 world and even caught their own drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, completely off guard. According to insiders, both drivers were left speechless after testing the new setup in the simulator. And that says a lot, especially when you're talking about two of the most experienced and outspoken names on the grid. This isn't your typical mid-season tweak or a quiet update slipped in under the radar. This is bold, aggressive, a complete shift in how Ferrari is approaching the car's performance. And it couldn't have come at a more critical time. Monaco isn't just another race, it's the crown jewel of Formula One. A street circuit so narrow, so unforgiving, that even the smallest mistake can end a driver's weekend. It demands precision, confidence, and a car that responds instantly. Until now, that's exactly what Ferrari's 2025 package has struggled to deliver. But now, everything is about to change. This new upgrade package isn't just about going faster. It's about completely transforming how the car feels, how it handles, and how the drivers connect with it on the limit. Ferrari knows this could be their last real chance to reset the season before the pressure becomes too much. They've thrown everything at this weekend. If the leaks are true, what they've built might just shock everyone. And this is where things start to get really interesting. The upgrades Ferrari has brought to Monaco aren't just a set of random fixes. They're smart, targeted, and, honestly, pretty wild. Let's start with the biggest change. The rear wing. Ferrari has gone back in time and revived a version of the SF-24 style rear wing, but with a modern twist. It's been redesigned with sharper end plates and a steeper angle of attack to squeeze out as much downforce as possible without dragging the car down on straight sections. That might sound technical, but in simple terms, it means the car sticks to the road better through slow corners without losing speed. And that's exactly what Monaco demands. Tight turns, quick changes in direction, and absolutely no room for error. But it doesn't stop there. Ferrari has also played around with the rear suspension geometry. Instead of completely rebuilding the rear, they've cleverly used existing parts of the SF-25's structure, known as hardpoints, to shift the angles of the rear suspension links. What that actually does is give the back of the car more stability when drivers put their foot down. That's been one of Hamilton's biggest problems this year. He's been saying over and over that he just doesn't feel confident when trying to accelerate out of corners. This new setup is meant to fix that. Then there's the work done underneath the car. Ferrari has reworked the floor edges and tweaked how air flows through the diffuser. Sounds small, but it's huge in Monaco. These updates create tiny swirling air patterns, called vortices, that help the car rotate more sharply in slow, twisty corners like Lowe's hairpin and portiere. Basically, it lets the car turn on a dime without fighting the driver. And of course, we can't forget about Monaco's brutal bumps and curbs. This track isn't smooth like others. It's full of dips, edges, and sudden changes in height. So Ferrari has softened the damping, which means the suspension now absorbs those harsh hits more effectively. That's a game changer in places like the swimming pool section, where the car slams over curbs at high speed. With this setup, the SF-25 should stay planted and stable, giving Hamilton and Leclerc the confidence to push harder without fearing the car will bounce or slide unpredictably. Put all these pieces together, and it's clear why this upgrade package is being called insane. It's not just about improving the car, it's about tailoring it perfectly for the most unique race on the calendar. What makes all of this even more exciting is that these upgrades aren't just clever ideas on paper. They're actually expected to deliver real, measurable results on the track. In a place like Monaco, where every corner feels like threading a needle and the entire lap is split into tiny microsectors, even the smallest gain matters. According to the data coming from Ferrari's simulations, this new setup could cut anywhere from 3 to 5/10 of a second per lap. That might not sound like much, but in Monaco, it's everything. Why? Because qualifying here is king. Overtaking is nearly impossible on these tight streets, and history proves it. 18 of the last 20 winners started from the front row. So if you're not up there when the lights go out, your chances of victory drop fast. That's why Ferrari's belief in these upgrades is so crucial. Their engineers are confident that, with this new package, both Hamilton and Leclerc can fight for a top 4 spot in qualifying. If either one of them can squeeze onto the front row, it could completely change the outcome of their weekend. For Hamilton, the biggest gain is finally having a car that gives him predictable rear grip. That's been his biggest frustration this season, trying to drive with a rear end that feels like it could snap at any moment. Now, with the new suspension and added downforce, he can brake late, turn in with confidence, and get on the throttle earlier without fearing the car will step out. It suits his smooth, precise style perfectly. And for Leclerc, the benefits are just as critical. He's always been quick around Monaco, but the unpredictable nature of Ferrari's chassis has cost him big in the past, especially over the curbs. This upgraded SF-25 absorbs those impacts better, meaning the car stays balanced and stable even in the most chaotic parts of the lap. For a home race where he's faced heartbreak before, this might finally be the machine that lets him deliver a clean, competitive weekend from start to finish. But while the performance gains are clear, something else is happening behind the scenes, and it's causing a quiet stir inside Ferrari. According to insiders, these upgrades weren't developed for both drivers equally. In fact, the changes, especially the suspension tweaks and rear-end balance improvements, were built almost entirely around Lewis Hamilton's feedback. And that's surprising, because this is Charles Leclerc's home race. If anyone expected to have the car built around them for Monaco, it was him. Now, the question is starting to spread through the paddock. Is Ferrari quietly shifting its internal focus? Are they beginning to build their future around Hamilton instead of Leclerc? No one is saying it outright, but the signs are there. Leclerc didn't see these upgrades coming, and now he's stepping into a weekend where his teammate might have the edge, not because of raw talent, but because the car has been fine-tuned to suit someone else's driving style. And here's where the real pressure starts to build. If Hamilton manages to out-qualify Leclerc on the streets of Monte Carlo, his own backyard, the impact won't just be about grid position, it could tilt the internal balance of power at Ferrari permanently. In a team where political dynamics are as important as lap times, one qualifying session could set the tone for the rest of the season and beyond. And when you take a step back, it becomes clear that this moment isn't just about Monaco. It's bigger than one weekend. It's about Ferrari finally waking up and responding, not with excuses, not with empty promises, but with real action. After weeks of falling short, after all the frustration from both drivers and fans, this is the first real sign that Ferrari is willing to take bold steps to turn their season around. This could be the turning point. A season that felt like it was slowly slipping away now suddenly has a pulse again. These upgrades, this renewed direction, it sends a message. Ferrari isn't just showing up anymore. They're here to gamble, to adapt, and to fight like a team that still remembers what it means to win. For too long, it felt like Ferrari was stuck in survival mode. But now, they've shown they're ready to take risks, to listen, and to build a car that can compete at the sharp end. If things go right this weekend, Monaco could become more than just another race on the calendar. It could be remembered as the moment the 2025 season changed, the pivot point where Ferrari stopped chasing the past and started building a future. So the big question now is, will these upgrades finally bring Ferrari back to life? Can Hamilton take full advantage of the car he's been asking for all season and deliver the results everyone's been waiting for? And what about Leclerc? Will he rise up and defend his home turf, or will he be caught off guard by his teammates' sudden surge? Whatever happens, one thing is clear. The SF-25 that shows up in Monaco won't be the same car we've seen before. If you found this breakdown helpful, go ahead and like the video, subscribe for more deep and detailed Formula One analysis, and stick around, because this story is far from over, and there's plenty more to come.